Welcome to American Evangelical University, AEU. My name is Dr. Kevin Grant, and I'm going to spend a short moment with you introducing myself, the course description that I'm going to be teaching at AEU, and then just a short video of a mini lecture for you. So let's just start with my background. My name is Dr. Kevin Grant, and I'm a consultant, lecturer, scholar, and author. That's what I do right now. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my background in the past, what I've done. Let's start with my education. I have a BS in Business Administration and Finance, MBA in Entrepreneurial Finance, and a Ph.D. in Global Leadership and Entrepreneurship. I've written a book. It's on Amazon. It's kind of boring, but you might find it interesting. But I like to do storytelling and leadership. I also publish numerous articles in journals. I have 2 books that I'm currently working on right now. I have a website that you can go to find some readings and updates on my work. Let's talk a little bit about my work experience. I was a CFO and COO, that's Chief Financial Officer and Chief Operating Officer for Fortune 500 companies. I worked for the second largest computer company in the world out of the UK and ran the North America division. We were bought out by Fujitsu, and then I was recruited with one of the richest people in the world, and I was chief of staff for a philanthropist. I've also worked in ministry. I helped build a church from 800 members to 7,500. It's a mega church that's still going on in Orange County. Then I went on to consult and work with small to medium-sized firms doing turnarounds, working with strategy and helping them to grow. After that, I went into education. I've been teaching full-time and doing adjunct over the last 20 years. Right now, I do educational consulting as well as coaching and mentoring business owners and leaders. Some of the schools I've taught at are UCLA, Chapman, Concordia, La Sierra, Westcliff, and right now I'm teaching at AEU, which is exciting, and it's a new school that's up and coming. Some of the courses are in the area of leadership, finance, consulting, strategy, economics, business ethics, organizational behavior, and personal finance. Recently, I was inducted into the Educators International Hall of Fame this past year for my work inside and outside the classroom. And to get in there, someone has to nominate you. So it wasn't like I just jumped in there and put my name in. Some interesting areas in my background, just so you guys know, I'm multicultural. I went to the UAE with my dad back in '65, where he started a hospital. It still exists. It's 57 years old. Sheikh Zayed from UAE invited us in to change the health of the Middle East. This hospital is still there today. But my dad sent me to boarding school in India and Pakistan, where I went to school 2.5 in India, 2.5 years in Pakistan. And then I've traveled most of Europe. I just have some quick pictures here that are kind of fun. The gentleman on the left is Sheikh Zayed with Mohammed bin Zayed, who's the Ministry of Defense for Abu Dhabi. I grew up with him. The royal family was born in our hospital. The camel is a Tesla. Actually, it was our automobile. You just fill it up with water and it goes a week with water. The guys on the right are my neighbors. They have guns and knives. They're pretty fun to hang out with. And then in '67, the Arab-Israeli War, we were there when that happened. And this is just a map of the Trucial states before it became the UAE, where I was raised. The picture on the left is a hospital that we started, and it's in the desert. It's 140 degrees, 130 in the shade. And you can see there's no shade, so that's 140 degrees. The picture on the right is the hospital today. 6 years ago, the Sheikh said that was sacred ground, and he put $350 million into a new facility. They built the building around the existing hospital because it was sacred ground. This is the doctor that recruited my dad. If you go to urgent care, That's what it looks like in Arabia. This is urgent care out in the middle of the desert. This is the gentleman in the blue coat I grew up with. His dad was the doctor, and he's a 3-star general. He ran the Ministry of Health for North Africa in the UAE. This is Sheikh Zayed having a meeting, and this is how they did it in the middle of the desert, where they made deals. And this is Mohammed bin Zayed after a terrorist attack in the hospital, comforting one of the guys that were hurt. This is my village. These are our neighbors. This is what Abu Dhabi used to look like. It doesn't look like that today. This is Sheikh Zayed, who's now passed away, who started the UAE. And this is his son on the left, Mohammed. That's Mohammed in the middle, and my friend on the right. They're doing a movie on the hospital and his parents that started the ministry. And this is a camel race. So those are just some ideas and thoughts about who I am to get to know me better. And I'm going to be teaching a course called Organizational Leadership. And I'm going to show you a mini lecture today. But the course itself is about students learning leadership and management theories. And there's numerous theories, numerous leadership ideas out there, and this class will be able to grab those. It's also the evolution of leadership and management concepts are going to be explored, and students yourself will be able to hone in on your own leadership and management skills and be able to manage those and measure those impacts that you can make on your own organization. And just so you know, we're going to be looking at mostly ministry capacity, churches and ministries, much like what I've grown up in and understand. Also, I might bring in some of the secular world, but really we're going to be looking at ministry, a ministry scope on leadership.